Good afternoon and welcome to the pre-agenda interviews for Thursday, April 27th, 2023. Madam Clerk, will you please read the purpose of the bills?
Bill 1317, resolution appointing Monica Ruiz as a member of the Planning Commission for a term set to expire January 1st, 2028. Bill 1413, resolution appointing Pedro Quintanilla as a member of the Planning Commission for a term set to expire January 1st, 2028. And Bill 1375, resolution appointing Ali R. Abdullah as a member of the Civic Design Committee of the Public Art and Civic Design Commission for a term concurrent with that of the mayor.
Thank you. And we are joined by Councilwoman Barbara Warwick, who almost never misses a meeting, so thank you for being here. I'm going to let you each say a few things about yourself. Keep it brief, please, but the information that you think the public needs to know why you're being appointed, and then I'll turn it over to Councilwoman Warwick for questions. So we'll begin with you.
Thank you. My name is Monica Ruiz. I'm the Executive Director of Casa San Jose, nonprofit organization located in Beachview. I'm also a Brookline resident, and I've been working very closely with the city and the county in housing development, equitable development, and a bunch of other things throughout the years.
And you're for the being nominated for the Planning Commission. Okay, thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Peter Quintanilla. I lead a small pack of design and urbanist nerds at Michael Baker International, which is a big engineering firm. Our office is here in downtown Pittsburgh, but I also live in Squirrel Hill. And yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Thank you.
And my name is Ali Abdullah. I'm the Disability Compliance Administrator for the Housing Authority of the City of Pittsburgh. And as it relates to being appointed to the commission, I oversee and deal with a lot of accessibility issues. So in terms of that, I'm interested in trying to attribute, that background to the projects that we will evaluate or oversee in the future.
Thank you. And Councilwoman, do you have any questions?
Yeah, do we want to go one by one or
however
do
you
everyone
want to do
together? I mean, we can keep it. I guess I was just going to ask, so for Monica, Planning Commission, then Civic Design and Planning Commission, just what you think you bring to the commission and sort of your ideas for what's working in the commission you're applying for, or what could be better, how, and how your experience and whatnot can help that come about.
Sure. So I've worked really well with both the city and the county in trying to develop recommendations on how to be more inclusive when it comes to development and planning. In the last 10 years alone, the Latino population in Allegheny County grew by 80%. And so I think that we've come to a time now where that needs to reflect in some of the decision-making that happens in the city. Due to the fact that I've been working so closely in this field for quite some time, I think that my knowledge of this and a lot of work and studies that I've done through cities across the country would be pretty beneficial.
And I guess also just so in terms of city planning, just as a did you have thoughts about kind of what the city's doing well, what the city could be doing better, that type of thing?
I think that there are some things that have been done really well by the city, and I think that right now, I think of population loss, the types of population that we're gaining, what that can look like for us in the future, some of the things that are in the work right now, and making sure that we are really being mindful when it comes to revitalization of communities versus gentrification of communities. Mm-hmm. We've lost a lot of affordable housing throughout the years, and what does that look like for people that want to live here, that want to have a business here, that want to develop, have more development within the city. And so I think that I would love to speak more to some folks to see how we could be great thought partners and think about what has worked well in other places and what could potentially work here. But I think that having a more diverse set of thoughtful minds together might benefit a little more.
Is that it? You're done? Thank you. Do you ever work with there was a Latino center, I think it was in Hazelwood. Did you ever work with that?
I did not.
I think my sister helped start that when she was with the AIU.
Yeah,
Okay,
they're still
Roseanne
strong
Jaworski,
running,
okay.
yeah.
But anyway, I was wondering if it was still there. I didn't know. Could you talk about any, what I'd like to hear from all of you is any conflicts of interest that you might have to serve, especially on the Planning Commission, because it's a semi-judicial board, so we're concerned about that a lot lately. So we get a vote on that, so that, there's other boards where people were appointed that may have conflicts. We don't get votes on those, but the ones we get votes on, we're trying to make sure that we're doing everything above board. So is there any conflict of interest that and how you would handle that if something did arise?
I don't believe I am a commissioner for the city for the Equal Opportunity Review Commission. But if there were a conflict, I mean, I could resign.
Well, I'm hoping they do a training.
Yeah.
An orientation training. I'm hoping they do that to let people know, because when I joined Alcazan board, they give you a binder of conflict of interest things and go over training, and it's nerve-wracking, to be honest with you, because you don't always know what you might be involved or might indirectly affect, and you're like, okay, I have to recuse myself from. So I honestly go in and I'm like, I make the solicitor read it to me, like, tell me if there's anything. I put it in writing and said, if there's anything I need to recuse myself from, please, these are the things that I know. If there's anything you know of, make sure you tell me before I vote. So put it on the solicitor. That's what I would say. Anything with you? I know Michael Baker does a lot of work in the city.
I was about to say that, yeah. So we do a lot of work in the city, but also I was actually part of the art commission before, and with the art commission, I had to recuse myself every time. Obviously, Baker will come in because of a project, but also I'm a board member of the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership. So whenever there was anything that they will bring to the board, I will have to recuse myself. So yeah, there would be, I would imagine, times that I have to recuse myself for those type of projects.
Okay, and I want to thank you for your work on the board too, because they do a lot, tremendous work in the downtown area. I was down there the other day just to enjoy downtown, and it was enjoyable. So, does you have any conflict that you know of?
Well, I guess I don't think so.
Or how would you handle it?
I guess in the context of answering that question, my assumption before I was, kind of pushed forward is that maybe there might be some things that people would have looked at in terms of my background that would hopefully, vet me in terms of that, and avoiding any conflicts of interest. But then in the event that did occur, because working for the Housing Authority as well, like I said, we deal with a lot of accessibility issues. And so we have done some design in the public space in terms of parks and different public areas and spaces. So I would do the same. I would recuse myself in terms of any potential conflicts that would arise.
And can I've done a lot with the disability community over the probably three decades. And one of the things I hear often is that we make things accessible for standard wheelchair accessibility, but we forget about the specialized handicap accessibility, specialized wheelchairs, and different things that people need to commute. Could you talk to me a little bit about, the kids at Pioneer School really want to be involved in some of these decision makings, and could you tell me how you think that we could maybe reach out a little bit to them and maybe include them in some? I would love to see a subcommittee to meet with you, to meet with everyone to talk about what their concerns are. Because one of the things they tell me is once they get out on the street, if there's a bike lane or something, they can't necessarily navigate through the, I don't know what they're called, the bollards. And so just that kind of stuff. I just like to know how you can help include them and be more inclusive with the people that actually are using, wheelchairs, and so that they're accessible. Do you think that there's a possibility you can meet with them, engage with them, anything like that?
Oh, could I meet with them and engage with them?
Yeah.
Absolutely, I could.
Yeah.
That would be easy.
That's easy? Okay, good. That's what I want to hear. Pioneer School for sure, but there's plenty of schools plenty of places.
I'll say this in terms of that. I mean, in terms of, I know you specifically, pointed them out, which is great. I think, in terms of projects on a consistent basis, since all these projects, that we delve into are in the public space, I think it's always important to touch upon the public, whether it's that specific body that you pointed out or the Disability Task Force, who I attend their meetings regularly, as well as any other entities or bodies that, have that same interest in terms of accessibility. I think most of the time that's not addressed is because those individuals aren't approached from the start of the process. And I think that has more to do with the systemic or structural part of how the process is conducted. So if we want to see more accessibility, we need to kind of address it right up front versus, on the back end, which happens most of the time.
Okay. So I want to thank you all for your willingness to serve. It's not easy serving in the public ever, but especially in these days and this day and age. There's a lot with social media and a lot of things that, you get tagged on. So let me just say thank you very much for your willingness to serve the city of Pittsburgh. This will be on Tuesday's regular meeting agenda, and we'll approve them at that time. Okay? So with that said, any last words from any of you that you want to say? Well, thank you for your willingness to serve.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks for the opportunity, because I am very grateful and thankful for the opportunity to be able to serve. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you for your, as I said, thank you for your willingness, and especially in areas that we really need to reach out a little bit more. So thank you very much for your work and for your volunteerism. With that said, the meeting's adjourned. Meeting adjourned.